you telling someone like, these are the 3 things she wants in bed, like that's not going to change your relationship if you aren't compatible, if you don't connect, if you don't speak the right love languages, if you're not empathetic, if you're not vulnerable, like then that 3 list of this and 7 list of that isn't going to do anything.
It's void.
And that's where I'm trying to get to with people, because I don't want people to use sex as a substitute for that. And I don't want people to use sex as an excuse for that. And I don't want people to use sex as a cover up for not having any of that, because I know, having been in tons of relationships where it was just physical and that's all there was, that's the only time it felt good. It didn't feel good at any other time. I didn't go home with a beautiful feeling in my heart. And then when it's only about that, that's also when it can be easily replaced.
Right.
Because that's easily changeable.
Right.
And that's why I think so many people go through, and I talk about in my videos so much about cheating and loyalty, because when it is just physical, it becomes so much more easier to just disconnect and throw it away.
All those things happen.
Yeah.
And now heartbreak.
Yes.
What's your advice on heartbreak?
Oof.
I know you have a video up. It's like the 5 things people should do through heartbreak.
Yes,
and one of them is like, get rid of everything from the past and only focus on the present and the future.
Yeah.
That's hard for people.
I like getting rid of visual triggers. I think the challenge in a lot of our lives is that we're surrounded by the same sounds, the same sights, and the same people that we were in our past. And I see this with anything, and I'm sure you felt this. When you went deeper into your faith, did your circles change?
100%.
Right. When you went deeper into your faith, did what you look at change?
100%.
Right. So you look at
my heart changed.
Your heart changed,
because,
but internal and external.
Yes, because for me, when I transformed in my faith, it was a transformation of my heart.
Yes.
Not about what I was actually doing or not doing.
Correct. And that's what I feel for anyone. Anyone that I've witnessed and observed go through transformation in their life, their environments have changed. And so for me, a lot of us are making it harder for yourself. It's like saying, I want to start working out every day, but I don't own any trainers, right? It's like, that's not gonna work. It's like doing the opposite. Like, I want to go on a diet, but I'm gonna keep chocolate cake in my refrigerator, right? Like, it's that. So you're saying,
so you're enabling
I want to
yourself.
get over the past, but I'm gonna keep my ex's sweater right next to me, and I'm gonna keep all these text messages that I can keep reading through again.
Why do people go back and read text messages?
Because
from someone that broke their heart.
Because nostalgia and imagination is more powerful, right? The feeling of nostalgia, and this is in studies too, like the research behind nostalgia is you always think things were better in the past with something like that. So you read a message and you're like, oh, but they loved me so much. And now all you're doing is reality's here, and you've got your own version of reality playing here. So you're basically writing your own movie script up here when reality is telling you this. And nostalgia is that script.
It's that fantasy that's never gonna become.
It's that fantasy that isn't real. So it's you saying, I don't want to accept what is, and I'm trying to accept what if.
Those people who can't get over that hump, what do you tell them?
One of the biggest things, like,
do you really want to?
No. It's a good conversation. I think one of the biggest things I say to people is just like, let's kind of break their space that they're in. It's almost like that person needs a space change, and they need to get out of that zone. And so for me, I'm always encouraging people to start doing new things. I think it's so powerful when you go and have a new experience, when you try something new, you join a new class, you've never done it before. Because guess what? It's about finding yourself again. So you're now learning new things about yourself. You're now falling in love with yourself.
It's about falling in love with yourself.
Correct. And I think that the biggest mistake we make in that time is everyone's telling you, oh, when's the rebound? Like, are you gonna date this guy? When are you gonna start dating again? Or this girl? When are you gonna be out there again? And it's almost like, well, no, maybe it's about I go inside this time and spend some time with myself. And I think new experiences are a beautiful way of doing that, because you only learn new things about yourself when you do new things with yourself, right?
Ooh,
like,
preach.
we never do new things with ourselves. You're always doing the same things with the same people. But imagine you start doing new things on your own, and now you have new memories. And one of the things I've been talking about a lot with people is forming new memories. If you don't make new memories, the old ones will always hold you back. And that's why we're stuck in the old, because we're not making any new ones. So the old ones just keep pulling you back. So the best way to make new memories is A, set up an experience, do it with a friend that you love. And when you go out there, it's this technique that's often used for grounding and therapy and everything, but I use it for presence, and that's how we were trained in it as monks. When you go somewhere and you're like, I want to take a mental picture of this. How many times have you ever said that? Where you go somewhere, you're like, I want to have this in my mind and I want to keep it forever.
And the iPhone camera is not
and the camera is not going to do it. It's not going to keep it emotionally. And I think we're so bad at creating emotional memories that are new. So the best way to do it is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So when you're in a space, and let's say I want to do it of this, I look at 5 things that I could see. So 5 things that I can see right now. So I'm going to say you, obviously, important part of the memory.
Oh, you're important too. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it with you.
Yeah, I'm going to say the rug.
Okay.
So I'm going for space.
Okay.
I'm going to look at the ceiling. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say the couch. So there are 5 things that I can see. The second thing is 4 things that you can touch.
Okay.
So 4 things I can touch.
My silky dress, my
silky.
really dry skin.
You're good at descriptions. Silky dress, dry skin. This is good.
The rough.
Textured,
the textured, yes. And my glass.
Yeah.
My glass
4
water.
things. Amazing. 3 things that you can hear.
I can hear the light.
Yes.
I can hear myself swallow, and I can hear your voice.
Perfect. And then 2 things that you can smell.
I can smell my garlic breath. And I'm having a hard time smelling basically anything because I'm 7 months pregnant.
Sure,
but
so nothing.
You can hear how clogged I am.
Yeah, me too.
But maybe my perfume.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then one
It's
thing.
all about me.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then one thing you can taste.
Garlic.
Great. So if you did that in an experience that you wanted to hold on to forever, all you have to do to make a mental picture, take a mental picture of everything, is do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
I really like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
5,
And
4,
so,
3, 2,
and
1.
this is what I mean by when you're going through a breakup, the biggest mistake you make is the old memories hold you back because you don't know how to make new memories. And so my advice to everyone is go and make new memories.
Okay, so I did Tony Robbins, right? And it was enlightening, it was fun. And the biggest thing that I came away with was I don't live in the present. I'm constantly living for the what's next.
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, team, it's time to hustle.
Yeah.
And he said, what are you grateful for? And I mean, I could sit there and say, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful, like I could list a few things. But he said, what are you grateful for in your career? And it's like, I had to really go deep. And I think that maybe if I started doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I would be able to go back to experiences that I thought my heart remembered, but my mind didn't.
Totally.
And I am totally implementing 5, 4, 3, 2,
And that's
1.
exactly what it's, so today it's used for a lot of people who struggle with anxiety to bring them back into the moment. When we were trained in as monks, it was what we did for presence, like exactly what you said.
Right.
And this is why the biggest mistake we make is when you're having an experience, the only sense we activate is the eyes. And that's why when you're trying to think of a past memory, you go, what was it again?
Right.
Because you have to close your eyes because that was the only one that was activated. Whereas what we've done with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is you've now absorbed this memory through all the 5 senses, which means each one of them is going to give you a different part of the memory.
I like it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, switching gears a little bit. I
Go
really
for it.
feel like insecurities breed negativity, right?
Yeah.
And a motto that I like to live by is kill people with kindness. What do you think about that phrase?
Yeah, I love that.
You do?
I agree with you completely. This is the beautiful thing that happens when you say thank you to someone who's kind to you. It does 3 things. The first thing is you recognize kindness. So now you're triggering your mind to start recognizing kindness, and you're now recognizing kindness in them. The second thing you do is you reinforce kindness in them. They realize, they're like, oh, when I'm kind, people appreciate it.
Right.
So I'm gonna be more kind. So you've now reinforced kindness within them. And the third thing is you help them repeat it. Now that you've shown them that their kindness is reciprocated, they're now gonna be kind to more people. So now you've started this domino effect of kindness just by thanking one person.
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's so interesting to hear you talk about being a monk and like how you spend half the day working on yourself and half of the other day working to give out to others. And what is your take on putting yourself first? And like, is it selfish?
So with monk teachings, the point is you are taking care of yourself first in order to serve better. So it's always like, I'm gonna put myself first so that I can fill up, so that I can serve with more. Because we want to serve with our best selves.
Right.
I always say this to people. It's like, people are always like, Jay, should I go to this party? Should I go out to this event? Should I call up this person? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I'm just like, well, if you're going to show up there with that energy,
Don't go.
where you're going to have to convince yourself to go, then guess what? That person's going to feel that.
Right.
Because if you're going to show up, then you're going to show up with your best. So I feel, for me, it's not selfish if the intention is I want to give more and serve more.
That's good.
It's selfish when it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of myself because that's all that matters.
Right.
Whereas it's like, no, I'm gonna take care of myself because I wanna give my best self to the people I love,
Right.
to the people of the world, to the people I care for. And so I'm gonna keep prioritizing myself. So I went down the wrong journey. When I first started wanting to serve, I used to just think, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay up all night. Someone needs me to drive halfway across the country, I'll do that. And I would do things like that. And I started to realize I was just people pleasing. I wasn't serving. I was actually serving my own ego. That was the most selfish thing. It was the most selfish thing because it was just people pleasing. But then I realized actually me saying, look, you know what? I need to get a good night's sleep tonight. But I promise you, first thing in the morning, we're gonna talk about this and I'm gonna bring my best self to this conversation. People started to respect that and value that and gave me that space. Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.